What's an American economy to do if foreign tourists feel unloved?
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by the Financial Times. Global news, geopolitics, and market data all in one place. Source FT. There's more at FT.com.
I'm David Brancaccio. The travel and tourism industry contributes $2.9 trillion to the U.S. economy, more even than the size of the automotive industry. But can travel and tourism thrive at a time the U.S. is working to overhaul border and trade policy? I'm just back from what had been a red-hot spot for tourism in America, Las Vegas, and found an economy being dealt some tough hands. Dinner time on a weeknight. There are cars at the lights at the corner of all corners, Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo Road. But traffic's a breeze. Next month, the big Formula One event should bring a surge of racing fans, and since it's Vegas, you'll always find some hubbub. Here's Ashley from Toledo.
I'm a big TikTok person, so everything says it's going to be dead here. It's a dying city, and we're like, it's not that dead.
So not Deadsville, but using the August figures, the number of visitors is down 6.7% from a year earlier. And under the video canopy covering Fremont Street downtown, foot traffic is also sparse. Leah and class are part of a Dutch and Belgian tour group out sipping refreshment. And they came, but
some people of our group, they skipped the trip because the situation here in the U.S.
You know, the situation, hardened borders and a global trade war, higher fees to come into the U.S. and other restrictions for people without U.S. passports. For instance, the early fall has typically been prime time for people from Mexico and points south to come, but this time many Latin-themed events got canceled. As for that part of North America, President Trump talks of adding to the United States.
Canada's down, probably the most significant of anyone, by some measures down 30% over where they were a year or two ago. But Canadians make up about 3 to 3.5% of all the visitors that come to Las Vegas. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's an impact.
Jeremy Aguero of Applied Analysis, a Las Vegas-based research and consulting firm. Among the down spots, what people here call the 3 C's, visitors from Canada. China, with its property market mess hitting disposable incomes there, and one more C, not a country, but the adjacent state.
People from California. And with all these rates and deportation and all these anti-immigrant message that is going on right now, people, they don't feel good coming in here. They're fearful.
Deanna Valles is president of the Culinary Workers Union, Las Vegas Local 226.
We're seeing layoffs. We're seeing restaurant closures. People are nervous just to go to the grocery store. Yeah, the people are nervous just to go to church. Even if you are documented people in this country, because you never know what's going to happen. Is your profile. When we heard people saying that they're going to deport criminals, we're okay about that. Our members are not okay to deporting people, working people, just because the way they look.
Another shift engineered in Washington that's percolating into every regional economy, this one included, are new import taxes, the tariffs. Juani Romero opened 7 high-design cafes in Las Vegas called Mothership Coffee Roasters.
Oh my goodness. The majority of coffee is from Brazil. And it's like, just because the president doesn't like the way the Brazilian president is talking to him, we're going to impose a 50% tariff and literally change everything overnight.
Mothership has deals with women-owned suppliers of raw beans in Brazil, relationships not easily switched to lower tariff countries.
The most important thing is we care from beginning to end, and that's what makes coffee really cool and relevant. But with these things going on, a lot of roasters aren't able to care as much because prices are going up. They can't afford to care and charge their customer. You can't charge your customer $40 for a bag of coffee. That's insane.
Again, data man Jeremy Aguero.
David, any of these things, if it was just one of them, you and I wouldn't be even talking. But the combination of conflict in Washington, D.C., conflict around the world, the fact that consumers are feeling uncertain, all of that is converging today into this very difficult circumstance that we see ourselves in. Do I think it's permanent, structurally unsound? No, I do not.
We also talked to a longtime waiter at one of the big casino hotels about how he reads the economy. The Marketplace Morning podcast will have that this morning. Markets S&P futures are, let's see where they are now, pretty steady, up just a tad ahead of the October reading on U.S. consumer sentiment this morning. Dominion Voting Systems of Canada has been purchased by a Missouri-based firm that sells a popular election software program. The purchase price has not been disclosed. The buyer of Dominion will be called Liberty Vote and is owned by Scott Leyendecker, a tech CEO with multiple connections to Republican officials. President Trump had made baseless claims against Dominion about election rigging in 2020. Fox News paid Dominion $787 million to settle defamation claims. Newsmax paid $67 million. The new company focuses on paper-based ballots, which remain a common vote tallying system in America because auditing is more straightforward.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Palo Alto Networks. Palo Alto Networks delivers what's next in cybersecurity innovation to protect today's digital way of life. Learn more at paloaltonetworks.com.
Who needs the monthly consumer inflation report? Well, Social Security recipients. The yearly Social Security raise to compensate for rising prices depends on the Consumer Price Index coming out. With the government shutdown, that report was in peril, but now some government statisticians are being directed back to work without pay for now to get that CPI report ready for release. Marketplace's Samantha Fields has more.
Every year, everyone on Social Security gets a cost of living increase. The federal government is required by law to publish that increase by November 1st. The thing is, it's based on inflation data from the third quarter of the year, which includes September. That's why the White House told the BLS to bring back economists and IT specialists who work on the CPI report. Price data for September was collected before the government shut down, but hasn't been analyzed. It's unclear when the CPI report will be released, probably not on schedule next week, but likely by the end of the month, in time for the Federal Reserve's next meeting. Recalled BLS employees will only be working on CPI, not the jobs report, which should have come out last week. I'm Samantha Fields for Marketplace.
And I'm David Brancaccio. This is the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.
And you can tune in for a wrap-up of today's business news on Marketplace here at 4:30 this afternoon on 91.5 WBEZ. Coming up in the next hour, U.S. District Judge April Perry temporarily blocked the Trump administration from ordering the federalization and deployment of the National Guard in Illinois. Perry granted Illinois' request for a temporary restraining order against the deployment for at least 14 days. Also, a Chicago judge rules federal agents can't deploy chemical irritants at journalists and protesters.